great country. You know, it's really good. They're very good at football.
Well, I think it's a magical place, a mystical place. I didn't know what to expect when I landed here, and it certainly exceeded my expectations. I've never seen a facility like this in my life.
I think the thing that surprised me most is like the city. You know, it's just so big and it's a lot different than where I live.
El torneo tiene un nivel altísimo a nivel de todo, a nivel de infraestructura, a nivel de equipos.
So being exposed to playing against teams all around the world and the best players.
A good experience at such a young age.
There's a high standard right to the football.
Perché è un torneo molto importante, può far cambiare la mia vita.
It's a very high standard. There's a lot of good teams here and a lot of big teams usually have the big players, so then it's a harder test and it's a better standard for us to play against.
É uma sensação boa, né, de estar conhecendo uma nova cultura.
C'est un très grand tournoi où il y a de très grandes équipes. On est fiers d'avoir été invités à ce tournoi pour donner le meilleur de nous-mêmes et donner une bonne image du club.
Oh, the teams were phenomenal. Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSG. It was phenomenal just to be in the same hotel as them and play in the same field as them.
E isso tudo serve de experiência para o futuro nosso.
Un viaje de estos, la verdad es que es muy bonito para un jugador de fútbol.
J'étais déjà très content de venir ici.
Yeah, very good level. The organisation and planning of it has been fantastic. I think it's possibly, you know, we do a lot of tournaments. I think this is possibly the best tournament that we've been involved in.
It's great. Like, I've never experienced something like this.
No creo que haya un torneo de esta edad o de otra, pues con estas instalaciones, con este nivel de todo.
Playing against the best, so it really gives us a chance to learn.
I've never really seen anything like that before.
Football is my life.
I want to be a professional player. Like, if I do it, it's very good for my life.
Inshallah, football will change my life.
The opening match of the Al-Kass International Cup 2014 was Paris Saint-Germain versus Barcelona. The French Giants were winners in the inaugural competition in 2012 and runners-up last year. Barcelona achieved 5th place 2 years ago. When the Spanish Giants play anywhere, at any level, the expectation is massive. The technical ability of both sides was of the highest standard. The game was played at an extremely high tempo. Edouard was the star for PSG, but Barcelona had 3 players that made the headlines throughout the 11 days. Carles Selenia Castillo, Daniel Cabrera and Singwoo Lee. Not much separated both sides, but it was Barcelona who got off to a winning start in the most difficult group, which also included Kashiwa Reysol of Japan. It finished PSG 3, Barcelona 4.
لكن مغلوب 4-3 بالحط العنصر مدى تأثيره على
Real Madrid were also present, and their opening fixture was against Aspire International, a team from the Senegal-based Aspire for Football Dreams programme. Real Madrid played their usual high tempo and direct football. Despite their effectiveness in the first half, they were no match for Aspire International in the second half. The team from Africa recorded a 3-2 victory. Real Madrid had a famous name from the past in Lucas Zidane in goal, but Aspire International certainly have the stars of the future in Silas Gnaka and Ismail Baidu. Auxerre had a difficult start with a match against last year's champions, Fluminense from Brazil. Auxerre Academy has a rich history in producing great footballers, with Manchester United and French legend Eric Cantona one of their most famous disciples. On January 13th, 2014, the star player for Auxerre was their striker, Yanis. Tuesday, January 14th, saw an Iberian clash in the Al-Kass International Cup as Real Madrid faced Porto. Spain overturned Portugal on this occasion, winning 6-2, which included a hat-trick for Gonzalez and a couple for midfield playmaker Oscar. Porto did get 2 consolation goals through substitutes Tavares and Rui Pedro. Other games on day 2 saw home team Aspire Qatar take on Chicago Fire from the United States. There was great support for the locals and the expectation was great. Aspire Qatar striker Abdul Rashid delivered, scoring the only goal of the game. The curtain came down on the second day with a match between FC Barcelona and Kashiwa Reysol of Japan. Spain's finest was stunned by the Japanese as Otani and Nakamura ran riot. But Barcelona kept their cool, and second half goals from Lee and Carvajal meant the match finished honours even. AC Milan entered the tournament on day 3 and blew Auxerre away, winning 7-0. There were hat-tricks from Patrick Cutrone and Cosimo Marco La Ferrara. Michael Modic chipped in with 1-2.
فرصة ثالث يسجل في مرماه. فرصة لا فرارة، فرصة ويسجل هدف الخامس ضربة محمد كوترو. بالنسبة للجول عمل كرة عرضية جميلة أو أنسة يمتلك كرة حرب بالتسعة 7 أهداف شد جميل الله.
Kashiwa Reysol had already pushed Barcelona to the limit. A victory over 2012 champions Paris Saint-Germain would ensure passage to the quarterfinals. Otani's goal in the 42nd minute was cancelled out by PSG's Mbongu, but Otani's second was unanswered as the Japanese continued to impress. Manchester City from England started their campaign with a tie against Chicago Fire. The Americans caught City napping as Kevin Timothy put Chicago ahead in the 4th minute. Daniel Barber equalised for Manchester City just before the half hour, and the match remained level until the hour mark. Only then did the English team turn up the heat. On the final day of group matches, Porto faced the might of Aspire International from Senegal. The academy from Africa have real strength in depth, and Porto had no answer for substitute striker Bamboye, whose brace ended Porto's hopes of a quarter-final berth. Manchester City once again showed nerves in their second match as they went behind to home team Aspire Qatar as Amro slotted home. But Manchester City equalised through Marcus Wood. Abdul Rashid gave Aspire Qatar a 3-1 lead. Isaac Buckley-Ricketts got City back into the game, and then the very talented Zacharias announced his arrival at the tournament. Fluminense may have been silenced by Auxerre in their first game, but Samba football had definitely arrived by the time the champions faced AC Milan. 4 beautiful goals from Ramon, Loran, Ruan Silva and Christian only got one reply from Patrick Cutrone as the Italians were well beaten 4-1. The first quarter-final saw Fluminense take on Barcelona. The Brazilians were full of confidence following their victory over AC Milan in the group stage. Managed to keep Barcelona under control. 2 second-half goals from Eduardo dos Santos and Frank Martins Franco secured a semi-final place for the Brazilians. AC Milan faced Kashiwa Reysol in the next match of the final 8. This turned out to be a nail-biting affair. 2 first-half goals from Otta and Nakamura put Kashiwa on the right path to the semi-final. But then in the second half, the Italians took control. Goals from Zanellato, Michele Spinelli and El Hilali put AC Milan in the last 4. The whole of Aspire came together for one of the quarter-finals as Aspire International faced Aspire Qatar. The local side fought hard but couldn't match their colleagues from Africa, and 2 goals from Bamboye and 2 from Alassane Mane gave Aspire International a 4-0 victory.
From Bamboye. Great strike, wonderful goal!
Manchester City's big test was against Real Madrid. One special moment separated the two teams, with Hakimi securing a 1-0 win for Real Madrid. AC Milan's semi-final tie was against Real Madrid. The Italians took the lead as early as the 5th minute. A red card for El Hilali on the half hour, and AC Milan were 1 man down. The Spanish Giants took full advantage. Goals from Nestor and Gregorio sent Real Madrid through to the final. Aspire International chose their semi-final against Fluminense to show the world what they had to offer, and what they had was nothing short of spectacular. 3 second-half goals from Amani, Quadri and Alassane Mane put the Africans into the final to face Real Madrid.
مشاهدينا الكرام، نحن على موعد الآن مع نهائي بطولة الكأس الدولية للاعبين تحت 16 سنة. لقاء يجمع بين ريال مدريد وفريق أسباير انترناشونال.
The day of the final was another beautiful day at Aspire Zone in Doha, Qatar. Perfect conditions for 2 excellent footballing sides. This final between Real Madrid and Aspire International was a great advertisement for youth football. The stars of tomorrow were on display, and with a goal each at the end of full time, it was on to the drama of penalties for the 3rd year in a row.
chicos, que nos lo merecemos. Vamos a ganar. Ya son nuestros, ya son nuestros, ya son nuestros.